Welcome back to the podcast. This is Money Body Goals. I'm Ryan DeCastro.
And I'm Dalton DeCastro.
And for those of you who don't know us, I am a financial planner and a wealth coach.
And I'm a personal trainer / coach.
So today I kind of have some ideas for some topics, but I think we're just going to freestyle it, make it a little bit more casual. That sounds good.
Yep. I like going in blind.
And then obviously we'll come up with a title and a description afterwards. So if you want more of an idea of what this is going to be about, then that's always available for you to read.
We'll make it super clickbait.
So what do you want to talk about first?
I don't know.
What's new with us?
What's new with us?
Yeah, you just got a pretty big tattoo.
I did. Yeah, I got a big tattoo. It was very painful.
Yeah.
But I think it's super worth it. My tattoo artist did a really good job. Shout out to Lance.
We'll put a photo of it in the YouTube video.
Yeah. We started at 8 and we finished around 5.
That's insane.
And
I could never.
yeah, because
I can't even make it through like massage.
Rye has tattoos herself, but they're like the smaller ones.
Yeah,
Don't
they're
usually
the fine line, like super small.
like max an hour.
Yeah.
And that's like, you're done.
Even like the white ink is a bit too spicy for me. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I don't need that.
I think the hardest part about the tattoo was actually just like how uncomfortable I was because I'm not used to lying on my stomach. Like when I sleep on my back like a vampire, or I sleep on my side.
Yeah.
But lying down on my stomach, I've just never had to be in that position for like 9 hours. So that was a big adjustment. On top of that, like I'm clenching for dear life because of the location. I don't hold a lot of fat on my calf area, so I really did feel it start to finish. But you know what? I sat through it like a champ.
That is a lot of resilience.
Yeah.
And mental strength.
I actually, like throughout the entirety of the tattoo, I kept thinking to myself, I salute the people who do this and have their whole body covered. Because it's almost like every time I finish, I'm happy with the product, but I'm like, I'm going to take another year before I get another one because I don't know if I can handle.
We say that, but then once you see the results, it's like, yeah, might as well get another one. Like, it's almost like you forget how painful it was because you're so happy with the end result.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Last year when I did my inner forearm here, I think I went back like a month, 2 months later.
Yeah.
To get more done.
Exactly.
So
what's next?
No, for right now, I'm done with tattoos just because of the bodybuilding. I don't want to cover up too much. Luckily for my division in men's physique, they don't really look at like our calves to the same degree as they would our upper body. Like obviously you still train your legs, and I do, but they're not hyper fixated on, oh wow, that guy's calves won him the show. So it's okay for me to cover it up.
And where did the inspiration come from for this one?
Well, this tattoo is a woman with snakes coming out of her face.
Yeah.
So like a Medusa.
Yeah, my parents were asking what it was. I'm like, it's giving Medusa vibes.
It is. It's pretty much like a Medusa.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like for me, I have tattoos that have representation, but I also am inspired by just good art. So Lance is a really good artist. And when I saw that on his page and I knew it was up for design, I was like, that's a really nice looking tattoo.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to mean anything to me.
And I think he does a really good job of making it very creative.
Yeah.
Like he puts a spin on it where it's like, wow, that's when you really look at it, like so much thought and detail went into it.
Yeah. Like I really like his style. I mean, my whole body is covered by him. Like,
and he's so good at connecting different pieces too.
Yeah. Like, yeah, my entire arm is actually done by Lance. So if you're looking for a tattoo artist, hit up Lance. He'll make you some sweet designs.
Yeah.
But yeah, so tattoo.
Nice.
How about you? What's next?
I'm rocking a new hair color.
Yeah. Tell them about that.
Pretty excited. Yeah, I mean, let me know if you like it. If you don't, maybe just keep your comments to yourself. Don't know if I can handle that. But I think my mom's happy because she's been trying to talk me out of getting highlights probably since I was 15. And I'm always just back and forth, like highlights, going back to dark, highlights. I wish I could go back and tell myself, like, just add toner. That's all you need. Because I think it's difficult for women, especially who have like very dark natural hair color. And then I'm generally pretty pale unless it's the summer and I have a nice tan. So it's very high contrast, especially with like having lighter colored eyes. So I know like the natural look is really in right now, and I think it does look really nice. But on me, having hair that's almost black, it's like it looks good when I do have a tan, but on any other day, if I don't have like my makeup fully done, it's not gonna look great. So I think like with this color, it's like a warm brunette. I think it suits my complexion pretty well.
Yep.
I think I'm gonna stick with it for a while, but we'll see. Yeah.
It still blows my mind how much it costs to do your hair
Yeah.
in comparison to men. If we're gonna talk about, money, men's upkeep for hair versus women's upkeep is just a night and day difference. It's insane.
It's so funny because you complain about like paying $40 for a haircut.
Well, I don't complain. I'm not used to it. I grew up my whole life getting haircuts from, well, first of all, like my best friend used to cut my hair for free.
Mm-hmm.
And then he started charging like $20.
Yeah.
So I paid around $20 to $30 for haircuts almost my whole life. And then once I started going to an actual barber now, paying what I pay, I don't mind it. I wasn't used to it. So when I think of hearing all the people who pay like $100 for their haircut, like that's crazy.
100. Try hundreds.
I know, that's what I mean. It hurts my brain.
I mean, especially when you need a root touch up every 6 to 8 weeks. Blame my bad genetics for that.
I don't get haircuts that often. I usually get it like probably once every month or maybe month and a half.
Yeah.
But
well, I think some men you have to go.
oh, some guys
quite often, right?
I know some people that go every 2 weeks.
Especially if you need to like maintain a fade.
Yeah, I'm a client who goes every week.
Yeah.
So like you gotta stay fresh and sharp.
Well, maybe yeah. I mean, it makes sense if you need to be very like clean cut for your profession as well.
Yeah.
Or if you do a lot of content creation.
Yeah, you don't want to look homeless.
Yeah, other than that, we're both in our 30s now. You turned 30 in January.
Yep.
I'm about to turn 31 next week. And I think your 30s, especially for me, like this past year has all about, getting a lot of clarity on just who I am as a person and what I want out of the future. I think for your 20s, it's all about like a lot of exploring. You're discovering who you are. You're discovering like what you want out of a career, what you want out of a relationship. It's like a lot of trial and error.
Yeah.
But once you hit 30, it's like you are who you are, which I totally am like, yeah, be your unique self. But you also have to like do the inner work as well. And if there's something that's preventing you from like feeling your best and being your best self, it's like you should be trying to work on that, especially when you have all the tools and resources to be able to do so.
Yeah.
I don't think you're at that point yet. Like you haven't done a lot of the inner work. If we look at the past year, like we've both accomplished a lot externally.
Yeah.
But it's important to like do a lot of self-reflection as well. And something I've really encouraged you to do is like try to at least like journal a couple times or like practice gratitude in the morning. You're very close-minded about that sort of thing.
Yeah, I will admit I am quite close-minded for these kind of things. But I do have a level of self-awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have reflection periods. It's not the same as yours,
Yeah.
right? So everybody is a little bit different. I'm able to self-reflect on like my own. I don't really like talking about certain things, and like I do keep things to myself, but I'm able to take out all of my anger and frustration and emotions in the gym, and I've always used that as my outlet. And I think, or when I'm driving.
Yeah, and it's definitely good to have an outlet, but I don't know, something I think about is like, why does something affect you more than me? Like when we are driving and let's say someone does something stupid, like maybe I'll roll my eyes, but you turn into like the Hulk. I'm like, who is this person? Why are you getting so triggered by this?
Yeah.
It's like, where does all that anger come from? Obviously, it's coming from somewhere.
Stupid people. I'm sure there's a lot of people.
Same thing when you're gaming. The first time I heard you gaming from the basement, like I can hear you 2 floors up. I'm like, who is this man downstairs? Because this is not my husband. Like, I don't recognize this person.
But the nice thing is that like it's in a controlled environment, right? Like I have never purposefully done that to you, like I'm very controlled. It's like I'm gonna be a certain way when I'm gaming. I'm gonna be a certain way when I'm driving, and I can understand those two places.
It's so loud right now.
I don't know if you were
Leo.
able to hear that, but that was our dog gulping water.
I definitely heard, but it's just so interruptive.
I was watching our episode, I think 3, and he asked me, "Did you have a washing machine running in the background?" It was like, no, that was actually our dog chewing on his bone. Usually for our podcast now, we have to take away his toys.
Yeah.
Just for the podcast, but he'll still find his way to make some sound.
So anyways, I mean, I'm glad you don't bring that into our relationship.
Never. I would never. But I'm very self-controlled in that way.
Yeah.
I know my environments and I know my places, and there's boundaries that I'll never cross.
And then for me, I have definitely recognized that, well, in the past, I've had more of like an avoidant attachment style. That's kind of just like a defense mechanism, which I was bringing into the relationship, but I think we've really like worked through that. I wouldn't say I necessarily relate to that anymore, like in previous years.
Yeah, I think our communication levels have definitely increased. I had to teach you
Yeah.
how to be more communicative. Like, I feel like I'm really easygoing. Like, there's not a lot of things that bother me. There's not a lot of things that I demand. I'm not needy.
Something I love about you is you're not sensitive whatsoever. Like, I could literally call you out on anything or bring something up to you. And it's like, I don't have to worry about hurting your feelings, especially when it comes to talking about money, right? I think a lot of couples struggle with maybe one person being more insecure,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
right? Some couples it might be hard to talk to your partner if they are insecure about money, or it's just not how they were brought up with that being like a transparent subject. But with you, like, I can literally ask you anything. Sometimes I have to like force it out of you a bit, but I know I'm not going to hurt your feelings about like bringing something up.
Yeah. Sometimes I just like playing around and just being difficult for no reason.
Yeah.
Just to spice things up. But like, speaking of money insecurity, like that was actually a topic that I wanted to cover for one of the episodes, where we can quickly talk about it right now. Because I was talking to one of my coworkers about, like having conversations with people, especially for us, for clients, like about money. Like, it's super important to be able to be comfortable talking about money, because at the end of the day, like, let's say you're trying to save up for personal training and you have, other bills to pay for. It's important that you have these conversations with your trainer or the person that's helping you manage, your money. Because if you don't feel comfortable talking about your money, they're never going to know where you're at with things.
Right.
Like, I think, and on our end too, as trainers, like, don't be uncomfortable talking about money with people.
Yeah.
A lot of the times, personal trainers fail at getting clients because they don't even know how to ask for money. They don't know how to ask to get paid, which we shouldn't even have to. But like,
Well, people don't go into personal training thinking that it has anything to do with sales, but
it's so salesy.
it really does. And same for my job as well. So you do have to learn a lot about this psychology behind money.
Yeah.
And why people do have a hard time talking about certain things.
Yeah.
I think it relates, like, you have a better point of view on that, because with my job, people are coming to me to talk about money.
Yeah.
So that's not really a struggle for me, like it is for you and some of your clients.
Well, like, the way that I see it is, when people come to us at a gym, they're seeking help, right? First of all, they came to a gym, so they want to work on something. And then if they actually come to see a personal trainer, they got some things that they want to work on as well. Sometimes personal trainers don't end up working with a certain client because they didn't have the ability and confidence to tell them, these are the things we have to work on, and this is how much it's going to cost to work with me.
Yeah.
They beat around the bush, and then they end up not training with that client because sometimes they don't even present how much it will cost. Like, it's actually sad to say that some people don't even tell the other person how much they cost. Because they're like, oh, he's not going to buy. What's the point? It's a waste of my time. Like, you don't have the confidence to make the sale, and that's why you're failing, right? For me, when I first started my job, I was lucky because I came from a sales background. So I actually did sales for a little bit prior to being a personal trainer. So I was super confident in talking to people. I was super confident in asking for the sale and telling people, this is what you got to do to be able to afford this. And then obviously I mixed the two and two together, and that's why I was able to thrive for my business as a personal trainer.
You really have to believe in the value that you're providing.
Yes. Some people,
If you don't believe in the value of the service yourself, how are you ever going to sell that to someone?
yeah, some people don't.
Right?
It's kind of sad. It's like, I think I'm this valuable and this is my worth. I need to present it to you.
Yeah.
Because if I don't show you that, then you're not going to work with me.
Exactly. And if there's areas where you need to improve, so you feel more confident with what you're offering, then you need to do that work to get there.
Yeah. Do you remember when I first started that job as a PT, how I used to come home every day and I tried to sell you? You remember that at dinner? And I tell this to all the interns that come to our job. The reason why I got so good at selling was because I would come home and I would sell my family during dinner. Like, I would literally, my mom, my dad, Rai, I would just have these conversations on how am I going to convince you to work with me? And I just got comfortable at speaking to you confident.
And dealing with objections.
Yeah, I promise you do not want to go into a room with me and give me objections. I will beat all your objections. I will sell you personal training. You can be homeless and I'll sell you personal training.
And
I'm just kidding.
the thing is, you also need to think of it as like you're going to attract different clients depending on the price of your services.
Yeah.
Right? If you're giving away your services for free, you're probably going to attract clients who aren't that committed, right? They're going to flake on you. They're not that serious about their goals, but when you increase the value of what you're offering, then you're attracting so much like better quality clients.
Yeah. I would say to combat that a little bit is that there is a time and place for free service, right? When you first start off at something and you have no value to show,
Oh, for sure.
build your resume
Yeah.
and get comfortable and confident in doing things for free.
Yeah.
And then once you realize, okay, my value is increased, that's when you can be like, okay, I'm increasing my prices,
Yeah.
right? Like you have to shoot your shot at everything.
No, I mean, for people who are super credible, they have, years of experience and they're still struggling with increasing their prices. Like if I'm looking for a photographer for brand photos or for photos of us, if I want to make like a gallery wall or something, I'm not going to go to a photographer who's charging $20 an hour because I know I'm not going to get good quality photos.
My dad would.
So I think it helps just thinking of it from the consumer's point of view. Like, what would you pay for and what would you expect out of that?
Yeah, that's the nice thing about our jobs is when you start to see people's prices being a certain way, like you understand why those prices are the way that they are, right? But sometimes when you have like cheaper services, like, do I want to pay for the cheap option and be disappointed with what I get? Or do I want to at least pay a little bit more money? Like it's always an investment. You always have to see it as an investment.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with personal training. It's like, am I going to pay the trainer the $10 per session or I'm going to pay the trainer the $50 per session? I feel like the person who's giving me the $10 is not going to give me the same value. And if I spend 1 year with a trainer with crap value versus 1 year with a person who I invested a little bit more money in and see value in it, you're going to have better results.
Yeah.
So it's just a way to think of it.
Or it's like people who go to the bank and meet with a financial advisor. Yes, you're not paying anything out of pocket for that, but also, are you getting value out of that relationship? Like, is that someone who checks in with you and reaches out to meet with you every year and is constantly monitoring your investments, telling you if there's something you should be changing? Or you could pay for financial planning with a certified financial planner like myself. And it's like, we tell you exactly what you can expect up front. We have a letter of engagement. We have like the breakdown of like everything we're going to provide for you. And it's like a long-term relationship because we want to make sure that our clients are successful. We want to help you be making money, doing all the right things.
Yeah. The nice thing about our position in our business now is that we can filter out the people we need to work with and the people that we don't need to work, right? So people who are going to come in unmotivated, the people who are not going to put in the work, people who, yeah, they're paying me, but they're not doing anything and not seeing results. And then they're going to eventually start blaming the coach. Those aren't the people I want to work with, right? I want people who are motivated, who are actually going to put in the grind every single day. They're going to show up. I'm going to stay in check with them and make sure they're doing what I am essentially a tool for them to be better.
Yeah.
Right? They can use me or they don't have to use me. But at the end of the day, if they use me, they're going to get better. If they don't, then who knows what happens. But then there's the people who pay you all this money and do none of the work. And then they're like, why am I not seeing results? It's like, it's because you just aren't doing what you need to do.
You have to implement it.
Yeah.
And having that accountability has so much value in itself.
Yeah.
Right? I think there's a lot of pressure on people, especially who are like new to investing. You know, when we go to my parents' house and the TV is always on and it's like every other commercial is like, well, simple, Quest Trade. And they're like, do you know how much you're paying in fees with your advisor? And there's so much pressure on like doing it the DIY route and making sure you do have something that's very low fees, that's like self-directed through Well Simple. But the problem with that is like that's not for everyone. And if you are getting the right value from the relationship with a professional who's managing your investments for you, then it's 100% worth it.
Yeah.
Because that's helping you make so much more money, right? When we're coaching you on how to react when the markets are down and checking in with like if you have a bonus, how you should be allocating that, or you received an inheritance. It's like, sure, you can open an account on Well Simple, but you're not getting the holistic view on everything.
Yeah. I think that's why the rich stay rich, right? They understand, yes, there's a lot of upfront cost, but like that's the value that they see in it. This is going to make me more money. Versus like, yeah, there's a cheaper route of doing everything, but like money makes money, right? So
Yeah.
you just have to see it as an investment.
Yeah.
You can't cheap out on everything.
If you're paying fees and commission to someone and you're not getting anything in return, then obviously that's a problem.
Yes.
So you just have to find the best fit for you.
Yeah. It's kind of like when we did our hedges. When we did our hedges, we got them chopped off. We saw a deal from somebody. They're like $100 and we're going to cut all your hedges. We're like, yeah, that sounds amazing. We're going to cheap out on this. It could cost maybe between like $300+ to get this done. But we're like, okay, $100 is good.
No, it was like thousands.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
To have the hedges removed.
So we saw the $100 option.
It was 400.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was 100.
Continue.
Okay. So she's the one who dealt with the money, obviously. But compared to like thousands of dollars we spent less, which was the $400. And what they did was they just chopped the top of all the hedges with a chainsaw. And yeah, they removed it, but they didn't pull the roots out.
Right.
So now we're stuck with these stumps sticking out of the ground.
A few moments later.
Stumps, not thumbs.
Okay, not thumps, sorry, stumps. Stumps sticking out of the ground?
Which is a huge inconvenience.
Yes. Now we look back at it and we think, okay, it would have been better to have invested the money into just getting those removed because then we wouldn't have had to deal with the headache.
Right. Then I could actually like make a nice garden around the fence or.
But that's like an example of just because there's a cheaper option, it doesn't mean that's the right option.
Yeah.
So you just gotta pick and choose your battles and understand when it's okay to save money.
Mm-hmm. So what else do we have coming up?
March coming around the corner. So this is a busy month for us.
Yeah.
We have a lot of things going on this month. A lot of birthdays. So March is always the craziest month, in my opinion, because her entire family, they all have birthdays in March, right? But yeah, so back to what we were saying about March, it's just a busy month for us. We have just a lot of things going on.
Yeah, we'll be spending a weekend in Tremblant. At the end of the month, we're thinking of filming a podcast there with Dalton's family. Maybe interviewing your sister and...
Arnaldo and Riza.
Yeah. They're brand new parents and also business owners. So I'd love to kind of dive into that more and just talk more about how they're navigating everything.
Yeah. Then also my parents are there. So I'm sure my mom would love to be interviewed.
Yeah, right.
She'd like a little interview moment.
Some airtime.
Some airtime, yeah. I know we have a lineup of family members that'd like to be on the pod. But it'd be nice because now that we're done our 4 episodes and we finally broke past that, it'd be cool to start getting some guests on the pod and just having a little bit of other
Variety.
Yeah, variety. And just people from different businesses, I think would be cool talking about like, their experience with finances.
Yeah.
And a lot of the people that we are connected with are actually either money or fitness related.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I love getting some outside perspectives. Yeah, for sure. So what do you have on the gym playlist these days?
the gym playlist, you know the answer to that.
What's the first song you play in the gym at the start of your workout?
I don't actually have a very specific song. It
Oh, really?
depends on my mood.
Okay.
Like it depends. Yeah, it really depends on how I'm feeling that day.
Mhm.
But Rye knows this. I listen to the exact same song.
Well, that's why I figured you'd have the same song
No,
lined up.
it will rotate for the first song.
Okay.
But I actually listen to the same songs on repeat.
So what's the vibe right now?
The vibe, like I said, it changes all the time.
AC/DC.
I listen to metal. I listen to dubstep.
Um,
I listen to... No, I don't listen to a lot of like vibey stuff. Sometimes I'll listen to like some hip hop.
some harder stuff.
I listen to like loud.
Yeah.
I like loud and angry.
Yeah, it was a screamo day for me today.
I'm always worried that someone's going to hear the music that I'm playing. I mean, there's some days where Glorilla is like my girl.
Mm-hmm.
You need some like kind of vibes like her. some Nicki Minaj.
People see me like bopping to my music and think it's like Tate McRae or something. It's actually just full on scream.
It's just Metallica.
Also, if you're not sure about screamo, then you should listen to Feel Something, Millennium, the version with Excision,
Mm-hmm.
and listen to Circle With Me by Spirit Box.
Spirit Box is a really good.
That was like my segue into understanding the appeal of screamo, especially in a gym setting. It's like euphoric. There's no other way to describe it.
But I also know people who listen to like Taylor Swift in the gym, so
I could never.
it's okay. Everyone has their own thing, like you can bop to one of my best friends will listen to like Drake or like dance hall or something.
Yeah, I get that. Like something upbeat.
And he'll be lifting 600 like he'll deadlift 600 pounds to some country music. Like he could do whatever he wants.
So funny.
Everyone's so different with their gym choices.
So I remember my first experience hearing screamo. It was when I was on a band trip in grade 10. We went to New York City.
Yeah.
So I was in stage band, if you didn't know that, in high school.
Nerd.
On the keyboards.
Nerd.
My first choice would have been the drums, but that was always like a fight to get.
Yeah, everyone wanted to use the drums.
Yeah. So anyways, I had to stick with what I knew. But we had tickets to this venue, and for some reason, when you walked into the building, it was like you had to walk through the lower level to get to where we needed to be. And in the basement, it was this full-on screamo concert. And when I first heard it, I was like, what the F is this? And why are so many people here and like actually into this? But now I understand it. I think if you listen to that 100% of the time, that's a little concerning. But I do get it now.
Yeah, I pick and choose
Yeah.
when I listen to that kind of music because as we said earlier in the pod, like the way that I drive is heavily affected by the music I listen to. So I actually made a playlist called Inner Peace.
Okay.
And I listened to that during my prep for bodybuilding. So whenever I'm driving, I could just listen to that. I wouldn't just have peace of mind listening to some calm stuff so that I'm not on edge because I'm already on edge.
Okay, so now I know if you're set off by something, I'll make sure I put your Inner Peace playlist on.
It works. It does a very good job. I mean, I have also gotten angry during that, but then I'm like, okay, dial it back. Let's breathe. I'm listening to the calm music. But yeah, that's how influenced I am by music.
Good to know.
Yeah. So I think that's everything.
Well, the last thing we wanted to bring up was the whole tariff situation, which is all over the news these days.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this plays out.
Mm-hmm.
This is good to know that now that they're incorporating those tariffs, that the cost of everything will start to increase. So budgeting,
Yeah.
right, is huge. Making sure you're preparing yourself for, okay, if your grocery bills are going to start going up, if actually everything is going to start going up, how do you manage your money properly to make sure that you're going to be prepared for what might come? So
Yeah, just try to focus on your savings more. Don't panic sell.
Yeah.
With your investments.
Yeah.
If you have a diversified portfolio, then it's built to withstand short-term volatility like this. So there's no reason that you need to make any big changes. And I'm not talking about like individual securities. I think when you are picking and choosing stocks, then sometimes like the buy and hold strategy isn't necessarily appropriate. It really just depends. If you're in like index funds, if you are very heavily invested in the US, then, it might even be a good time to just buy the dip when things are down. It's a good time to get into the market because historically we've seen the markets will recover, whether that takes 6 months or 2 years. And you don't want to miss the best days on the market. So we can't predict when things are going to start looking more positive. So if you have a lot of money to invest, I wouldn't necessarily go all in at once when the markets are down. You'd probably want to do a dollar cost averaging strategy and try to spread that out. So you're not trying to time it because you could invest and then the markets continue to go down. So then you lose money right away. But you just have to be strategic about it and make logical decisions. Don't make decisions based on emotion.
Yep. That's the key to success. Emotional selling or emotional buying. All right. I think that's everything. I think we covered everything we wanted to talk about today for this episode. So if you haven't done so yet, don't forget to like, subscribe, and yeah, share in the comments if you guys have any other topics you want us to cover for the next episodes. Thanks again for watching, and we appreciate you guys.
See you in the next one.
Peace.